Hi friends. So today I do want to have to discuss the Great Babylon, how we are all Christians are in it, how we should take steps to come out of it, and because if you don't, there's great tribulation will come to you. There will be a lot of God's judgment is coming, and there's things that you need to do before it comes. Also, I will point out it says there's 12 ways Christmas is worse than Halloween. I was surprised myself, but listen to this, you'll be amazed. And about Babylon, there's a few interesting points that I found I want to share with you. Let me know what you think. If you think this is not complete, if you think this is not something is missing, let me know and in the comments below. But if you feel this is truth, then I'm thinking a lot of people have found this truth, and it's just very important to know. We are in the times that just sitting there on the outskirts will not do anything to you. This is the time to act. This is the time to go explore and find the truth for yourself. So first of all, I want to start with this Revelation 18, chapter 18, and it says, "After this I saw another angel coming down from heaven. He had a great authority, and the earth was illuminated by his splendor. With a mighty voice he shouted, 'Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great. She has become a dwelling for demons, and haunt for every impure spirit, a haunt for every unclean bird, a haunt for every unclean and detestable animal. For all the nations have drunk the maddening wine of her adulteries. The king of the earth committed adultery with her, and the merchants of the earth grew rich from her excessive luxuries.'" So as I was reading that, I was wondering, what can this be? How can it be? So I was trying to do my research, and I found some very interesting concepts, I guess, about who Babylon is. A lot of people are stating that, as I was reading about it, it says it's the Catholic Christianity, the Roman Empire that has spread every country, every continent, and the religion has touched everyone, every church, because they have changed a lot of things from the Bible. Let me show you some things. First of all, the Catholics have changed the biblical 10 commandments. There's a lot of stories that they say they deny, they say we have not. But if you look at the Catholic Bible, you'll notice that the number 2 commandment is missing and number 4 has been changed. And then they split the number 10 in two. So they have removed, "You shall not make for yourself an idol," number 2. And they, number 4, "Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy." They made it, "Remember to keep the holy, the Lord's day." So they took away the Sabbath. Then they have changed the God's holy days. They changed all God's holidays from all the ones that God has said, "Celebrate, this is my day, come to me on this specific day." On those specific holidays, they have changed all of that, and they installed their own holidays. Even something simple as Passover, they crossed that out and they installed Easter. We as Christians, there's a lot of things we have not known, and we were just listening and thinking that our pastors, our church knows what they're talking about. But when you start digging, when you start looking for the truth, you'll notice that a lot of things we have been misled. There's a lot of things we as Christians have taken, and we thought it's ours. It's our holiday. But when you start celebrating God's holidays, you understand that God hates the evil holidays that are of this world. And that's why I want to talk to you about Christmas that's coming soon. We as Christians should not celebrate it. We should not. But I found there's 12 ways why it's a holiday worse than Halloween. I was surprised myself, but just listen to these things here. So first of all, they made Santa as the number one person who brings gifts, but in the past, in the history of Christmas, it was always Paul Krampus, and he's the one who the parents said to their children, if you're gonna be a bit bad, he will come and he will spank you, he will hurt you. So it was an evil spirit, like a man with a very scary face and a very long tongue. He would come and he would hurt the children. So the children were scared of him, and he would come on Christmas. So basically, he was the one who would come, and they were stating he was the one who's watching you the moment you're born, and it's an image of a demon who is presumably knocking infants away from some horrid fate. He will take away the bad children to some horrid fate. Then they were stating that there's another legend of Christmas that says that the Yule lads are coming to rob your house, and it's like very evil spirits that will come, and they will take away the good things in your life. That's why people start putting things on their doors and on their windowsills. They will put stuff. Number 3, do you remember that song or something that they were saying? He sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake. So every child remembers that, and they're telling there's evil spirits that watch you when you're sleeping. So when you tell that to your children, it's like you're inviting an evil spirit into your house to watch. And that's why a lot of kids would have nightmares, and they would feel like there's something moving in their rooms. They would feel that they can't sleep, and they feel like they hear sounds. So it's not surprising when that's happening. Number 4, the story about the Nutcracker is about a child lost in another world. And so basically in the Nutcracker, it's a story about a young girl who falls in love with a doll, then leaves her old family and life to spend her days with a sad doll in a world where toys are constantly warring with mice, and child marriages laws apparently do not exist. So clearly it's not a story that you want to read to your children. And we as children were always reading that, and we were like, oh, it's a crazy story. But when you look into the deep history of it, you'll be amazed. You're like, why would you want to show that to your children? Number 5, mistletoe is actually a parasitic plant. It latches onto a tree, then leaches nutrients and water from its host. Despite this, a tradition that dates back to Norse mythology declares that it's bad luck to refuse a kiss when under a mistletoe. So again, another tradition that people do, not even thinking what it brings, but it just shows that it's something evil attached to it. Basically teaching kids and adults, there's a legend that there's some kind of tool of perverse power, as creeps can cite the legend as justification for when they are owed a kiss from those around them. And in the days of Christmas, you just need to look up, down, left, and right to stay safe. Number 6, parents allow their children to sit on a stranger's lap and someone with a beard, and they let their children sit with him, and children hate it. If you notice, a lot of kids will cry. They hate the Santa Claus, they hate sitting on his lap and some stranger. No wonder they cry. It's just, why would you put your child through that? Basically, it started as a tradition back from 1841 when people flocked to the life-size Santa, and now people stand in line to do the same thing, not realizing what this means. Why would you do that to your child? The number 7, there's an elf that sits on the shelf to tell the Santa if the child is bad. So parents put some kind of elf on in someone's bedroom or under whichever, and they tell their kids, they tell them a story that the elf can see you, and they will tell the Santa if there's something bad that you're doing. So basically, you're teaching your child lies, and you're telling your children that someone is watching them. I'm sure there's evil spirits that watch them, because you bring elves into your house, and that's not something you want to do. Number 8, there's a Christmas story, a Christmas carol. It's about a ghost that comes to life, and it's about a story about a Grinch that comes, and a Scrooge, and a ghost. So it's not something a Christian should watch. Why would you tell people, or even your children, stories about ghosts and things that are not true? And it just doesn't bring anything peaceful to your child. It's full of lies, and its focuses on life, death, and regret. And also, the history of pagan customs explains the relevancy of ghost stories to Christmas holiday. Apparently, there was a lot of in the history of Christmas, there was a lot of stories about ghosts and during Christmas time. That's why they were hanging, like I said, they were hanging things in their houses to scare the evil spirits. They would bring trees into their house. They would bring different things. They would even hang the stuff of animals, dead animals, like a head of a rooster or different things like that. They would hang to prevent the evil spirits from coming into your house. And then number 9, when Santa breaks in, apparently that's the story that's going around, the parents just offer him food. That's a good thing, right? So another thing you're teaching your children. So when someone breaks into your house, give him food. During the 15th century in France, people believed in witches, in fairies, and other creatures of the occult, and they believed that they enter their homes through the chimneys. And then I think in the 1800s, they started doing that to Saint Nicholas, that he was entering as a Santa Claus through the chimney. So it doesn't really make sense. Why would people come to the chimneys, or even evil spirits? But that was the pagan belief, and it kind of attached itself to Christmas and to Santa, that he comes through the chimney. And then there's, of course, Christmas songs that are all over. You can hear them everywhere you go. Some of them are pretty decent, but imagine one of them that is coming. I mean, it was in the past how many years we have heard it. It's the one that says, "I saw mommy kissing Santa Claus." Seriously. So what are you teaching your children? That it's okay for mom to cheat on your dad or on your husband by cheating with Mr. Claus? So basically, it's just one of those things that people say, oh, it's just, everybody knows that it's just her husband is dressed as a Santa, but the children do not know that. And they think it's all truth. And what you feed them, they eat it and they think it's truth. Or even the other song, which is called Baby It's Cold Outside, where a predator tries to get his date drunk and won't let her leave. It's really terrifying. When else do we celebrate such ill conduct with cheer? So basically, there's a lot of things that are just not right with Christmas. And by reading the history, what is happening, it just makes you feel like, wow, this is crazy. Number 11, the Christmas is typically taken from the pagan customs. It in the past, everyone was celebrating the winter festival, the winter solace on December 21st for 12 days, and it was they were trying to bring more Christianity into the world. So they decided, since everyone are celebrating these evil holidays, we're just gonna attach Christmas to it, so they will kind of not knowing just celebrate it too. And that's how it came into our life. Everyone just started celebrating it, not realizing it was just added to the same day that was that they celebrated the sun, the god of the sun. And same day on the 25th of December, that's when they all were the pagan, they all celebrated him, they brought him gifts, and they made it a Christian holiday because Jesus, Yeshua, was not born in winter. He was born in the fall time and one of the God's holy days. So when you're telling your children it was in the winter time, it's another lie you're giving to your children. And lastly, number 12 is a snowman. Is it real? And why is it trying to kill Rudolph, the reindeer? So there's a lot of stories that are all they considered Christmas classics. For instance, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's been around for 53 years already. And it just talks about the Santa's favorite reindeer, an adorable elf who wants to become a dentist, needs a sharp-fanged, Christmas-hating monster. So it's just another thing that you want to, why would you want to show your children? It doesn't make sense at all, and it's just based on a fake story. So, for instance, like I said, Christmas was made on a pagan holiday. There was nothing of Christ in it. Bible does not tell us to celebrate God's or Jesus' birth, and Jesus was born not in the winter time but in the fall time around God's holidays. So do not celebrate Christmas. It's not something you want to do. Instead, you should celebrate Hanukkah. It's a holiday. It's a Jewish holiday full of light, full of life, and Jesus was on that holiday too. It says it was winter, and he came to it was a holiday of what was that word? Okay, so it is it is written in John chapter 10 verse 22. It says, and it was at Jerusalem the feast of the dedication, and it was winter. So the feast of dedication is Hanukkah. So if you do want to celebrate winter holiday, Hanukkah is the holiday to celebrate. You celebrate for 8 days. You can give your children presents. You can put lights on. You can do candles. It's a beautiful holiday. Read about it. It's just very a holiday of miracles. And you can tell your children that Jesus was born in the fall time. No one really knows the date. There's different concepts about it, but he was not born in winter, so it's not truth. Um, so going back to my subject that we are all in Babylon, this is why. It's because Babylon is a Catholic, the religion that was brought and have given it to all the nations. Everyone are in it. All the Christians are maybe are not aware of it, but it shows that they are celebrating the holidays that the Roman Catholics have installed. They have made Christmas, they have made Easter, and different other holidays. I'm gonna make another video about all the holidays that you should not celebrate. They're all evil and you should not go into that. They're part of being in Babylon. And do you know what God said to his people? The ones who are in, to his people who live in Babylon, he has said, let me actually read it to you. Revelation chapter 18, and it starts from verse 4. Then I have heard another voice from heaven say, "Come out of her, my people, so that you will not share in her sins, so that you will not receive any of her plagues. For her sins are piled up to heaven, and God has remembered her crimes." So basically, it talks about Babylon and how it's full of it's a dwelling for demons. Imagine, we are living and it's a dwelling of demons, and a hunt for every impure spirit, a hunt for every unclean bird, and a hunt for every unclean and detestable animal. I believe all of these things that they're explaining in Revelations are spiritual beings that are among us and we can't see them, but they do give you depression, they put you down, they would make you upset, angry, and they do make people do things that they do not want to do. A lot of things, for instance, right now we are in a dwelling for demons. That's really scary. So if God is telling us, "Come out of her, my people," if you consider yourself God's people, then you should start thinking, what should I do to get rid of this Babylon around me? It's the system that is around us. It's something that we all do, not realizing. So what is in your house that is part of Babylon? What is in your life that's part of this world religion? What does everyone celebrate and it's not in the Bible? Why would you want to do that? Why? It's part of being part of Babylon, and I do not want to have this happen to me, to my children. I don't want to be judged by God, because it says you have to come out of it. You can't, because if you will share in her sins, and we know of her sins, everything that she does, everything in this world that they do, it's part of the sin, and we don't want to receive the plague, all the things that there will happen to her, a judgment. So now is the time to come out. Now is the time to look in your life and realize, what are you doing that is not of God? Are you celebrating Halloween? Are you celebrating Christmas, New Year's, the evil holidays that are not of God? And don't tell me they're just a pure little holidays. No, nothing bad. I don't think about evil past or history. Tell that to God when you are with in front of him. Will you tell him that? Oh, it was just for the fun of it. But if it's not in the Bible, God doesn't like it. You only have to come to him on his holidays, not on people's holidays. So and if you do not believe me and you think, oh, it's just full of lies, it's not truth, I am just celebrating Christmas, Jesus is born, come to God, ask him about it, see what he tells you. Don't listen to me, listen to God. Because I'm just a person, I'm just telling you information. But God is the one you should listen to. He is the only one. And if you start seeking the truth, He will show you, He will tell you what He doesn't want you to do. And all those things that we put in our house, He will want us to get rid of that too. Okay, my friends, so I think I said enough. Hopefully, all the if I have negative comments, people will be like full of hate for that I am going against Christmas. So be it. I'm willing to go through that because I know God doesn't want us to celebrate this holiday. But like I said, come to God and He will teach you. Stay well, stay blessed, and be healthy in this cold winter season. And celebrate Hanukkah, the holiday of lights, because even Jesus was in this holiday. Take care.